Call us to order. Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. If anybody's going to testify today, if you'll raise your right hand and be sworn in. Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. For the benefit of the respondent, my name is Drew Smith. I am the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the city. I am not an employee of the city. I am a lawyer, practicing lawyer, and my role here is to be an independent fact finder. We'll move through the cases in the order of the agenda. When it gets to your case, code enforcement will begin by presenting their evidence and testimony. After they are done, you'll have an opportunity. If you have any questions for the code enforcement officer, you can ask them, and you can present any evidence and testimony that you would like to hear. When I have collected all the evidence and testimony, I'll enter a verbal ruling today. That will be followed by a written order in the mail. We'll call our first case.
Case number 2021-1072, Newman Land and Cattle Company, Inc., owner, Prestigious Pavers, tenant, location of violation, 1320 Michigan Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 1320 Michigan Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the courtesy of notice sent to the tenant, copy of the notice of violation sent to the owner and the tenant, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail to the owner and the tenant, copy of the notice of violation with the new date sent to the owner and the tenant, a copy of another notice of violation with the new date sent to the owner and tenant, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner and the tenant and posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, a copy of the affidavits of postings, the certified card signed for, the certified mail receipts, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code sections in violation, copy of the costs incurred if the special magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $288.30. On May 12th, 2021, I was checking the businesses at this location, and there was no active business tax receipt license or certificate of use license for this business, and there was also window signage installed on the door without obtaining a permit. On May 13th, a courtesy notice of violation was sent to the tenant. On May 25th, I went to the location, and there was still no active business tax receipt or certificate of use license and no permit for the window signage. On May 26th, a notice of violation was sent to the owner and the tenant. On June 10th, I went to the location, and there was still no business tax receipt license or certificate of use license, and still not a permit for the window signage. On June 11th, a notice of violation was sent by certified mail to the owner and the tenant, posted on the property and City Hall. Affidavit of posting was completed. On June 24th, July 27th, and August 3rd, I went to the location, and there was still no active business tax receipt or certificate of use license, and still no permit for the window signage. On August 4th, a notice of violation with the new date was sent to the owner and the tenant. On August 17th, August 20th, and September 2nd, I checked, and the sign permit was applied for, but there was still no active business tax receipt or certificate of use license. I also emailed the owner to let her know. On September 3rd, a notice violation with the new date was sent to the owner and the tenant. I took 2 photos. On September 28th and October 6th, I called the tenant and explained that the permit had been disapproved on September 7th for needing the size of the sign on the picture and the linear footage of the business location. He stated he would correct this by the next business day. On October 11th, I checked, and the permit for the window signage was still disapproved and no active business tax receipt or certificate of use license. On October 11th, a statement of violation, notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner and the tenant, and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed, and I took one photo. On October 28th, I checked, and the permit for the window signage was still disapproved, but I did notice that on October 12th, the business tax receipt and certificate of use licenses were obtained. On November 16th, I checked, and the paperwork for the window signage was resubmitted on November 12th, and on the 16th, I took one photo. And the respondent is not here. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing window signage to be installed without first obtaining a permit and not obtaining a business tax receipt license or certificate of use, and to obtain a permit for the window signage by December 7th, 2021, or pay a fine of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would like to also recover the cost incurred in bringing this case before the special magistrate in the amount of $288.30 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And that concludes my presentation.
So the only violation outstanding now is the window signage?
Yes.
And November 12th, they submitted paperwork. Do you know the status of that paperwork?
Yeah, the planner does not have to have it completed until November 30th, but I will be out of town, and so that's why I gave them till December 7th. So I don't know if it'll get disapproved again or not.
So they've applied. There's nothing more until the city processes the pending application. There's nothing more for them to do.
Correct.
Unless the city
Disapproves it.
disapproves it, then they have to either take down the sign or, and probably at that point, their only option will be to take down the sign until they get their permit approved.
Correct.
Okay. And nobody is here to speak on this case?
No, no, sir.
And based on the evidence testimony received, I'll find in favor of the city, find that the respondents are in violation for allowing window signage prior to obtaining a permit, and also for conducting business at the property without obtaining a proper business tax receipt or certificate of use license. We'll find that the certificate of use license and business tax receipt violations were cured, but cured after the time set the notice of violation for cure. Find the window signage violation does remain outstanding. I'll allow the respondent until December 7, 2021 to correct that violation. If not corrected by that date, a fine of $100 per day shall begin to accrue until compliance is met. We'll also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $288.30, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you.
Case number 2021-1913, Juan R. Iyas, owner, location of violation 1406 Maryland Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Melissa Howes, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. The respondent for this case did just show up, and I provided him a copy of everything I'm submitting. So I don't know if you want to tell him your procedure again, or just go ahead and read.
I will. Since you did come in late and you missed it, my name is Drew Smith. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate. My role is to be an independent fact finder. As you just observed in the last case, the order of proceeding will be the city will present its testimony and evidence. When they're done, you'll have an opportunity to come to the podium. We'll get you sworn in when you come up. And you can present any testimony that you'd like me to hear. If you have any written evidence, you can provide that. If you have any questions for the Code Enforcement Officer, you'll be given that opportunity to ask any questions you may have about their testimony. Okay, thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to enter into evidence a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code sections in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $278.90. On August 12th, 2021, an email was sent to code enforcement, which I received on August 13th, in reference to a complaint that the owner of this property was running a business from his residential home working on boats and ATVs. He proceeded to say that the owner would test the ATVs by running them up and down the alleyway. I went by the property and verified 3 boats with no current registration tags, several ATVs on a trailer in the front yard, and high grass in several areas of the property in violation and needed to be cut. On August 18th, I sent out a notice of violation to the owner of record by regular mail to correct all the violations, including abandoned vehicles, high grass, and if he was running a business at this location, that the owner would need to obtain a home-based business tax receipt. On September 3rd, a reinspection was performed and nothing was completed in the rear yard. There were still ATVs on a trailer in the front yard and high grass. A woman came out the back door and I asked her about running a business out of this property. She stated that her husband only worked on friends' vehicles and ATVs and does not charge them. I explained to her that he cannot run that type of business out of a residential area. I also explained the violation of having vehicles, boats, and trailers without current tags on them was a violation of the city code. She stated that she would tell her husband, and I extended the case for another 2 weeks to comply. On September 13th, I checked this property, and none of the violations had been corrected. 15 photographs were taken. On September 15th, I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner of record to correct these violations within 10 working days. On October the 1st, a reinspection was performed and the property still had violations. On October the 4th, I posted the property in City Hall with a notice of violation, did an affidavit of posting, and I took 12 photographs. Actually, I took 21, I'm sorry. On October 20th, again, I inspected the property and it was not in compliance. 15 photographs were taken. He had moved some items. The boat that was sitting there on those wooden blocks were gone. Still got high grass in several areas. On October 21st, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail, posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took the photograph from showing on the screen. On November 15th, I re-inspected the property and the violations had not been corrected. I took 10 photographs showing non-compliance. He did move that trailer with the ATVs, but the ATVs are all lined up in front of the house. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of having high grass, abandoned vehicles by the time specified. The city would like to recover give the respondent until December the 1st, 2021 to correct all of the violations or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $278.90 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes my presentation.
Can you go back through your most recent photographs? First off, let's cover the high grass and weeds.
Okay.
Point out to me in these photographs.
Okay,
where
most of those are on the
not.
side of the house. That's the side, looking at it from the rear. This was looking at it from the front, on the one side of the property that's next to them.
Okay, So
And-
stop on these photos and point out to me where the high grass and weeds are.
Okay, so up by the shed, back by the fence, the chain link fence. It's just certain areas that I don't know why
I
he's
see-
not
I
cleaning.
see in that one where there's no
Okay.
grass.
And then the sun was shining in my camera, so it was kind of hard to see, but, I mean, that side, he moved different things, took care of that. The boats have not been moved, obviously.
Right now, I just want to focus on the grass. I want to make
Okay.
sure I see where the grass is still high.
Okay, mainly right there on that one side of the house.
So
It would be the south side of the house.
doesn't help me in the photograph. South side is opposite of the fence or this side of the fence?
Inside.
Inside, okay.
mhm.
And this is your most recent
Yeah,
inspection?
Yeah, 20, well, no, the 15th would have been my most recent, which is, you can't see it because of the banana trees and all that, but the
Go back
grass,
to the previous photo.
yeah, that one there, that's the
I
most
see
current.
it in that one. Go back to. On the
That.
far, growing up the fence, that's not part of the grass and weeds.
No.
Growing up the fence. But it looks
No.
like just to the front, just to the right-hand side of that.
Correct.
Is there overgrown grass there?
All the way around it, yes.
Okay, I see that. Now, going to the vehicles, what vehicles are left?
Okay, so I don't see, he removed the boat that was not on a trailer. There was a trailer, I don't know if it's that trailer or the other one, but it had a tag that said 03 on it. I cannot see that boat in the middle, but the one on the end, towards the end of the house, that one I cannot find a current tag on it. I zoomed, I looked, I cannot find a tag on it. That car's been sitting there, it has not moved at all from day one. So I'm assuming the vehicle's either inoperable or not tagged. If he wants to just move it, prove it. See this one there, that boat there that's on that side? I can't find a tag on that. And I zoomed in, cannot find it. So if he can prove that to me, then, you know, I don't have a problem with that. He did move the trailer that had the ATVs on it. I'm not sure whether the big trailer in the backyard now, that one, I don't know if I think that's a boat trailer. Yeah, it's a boat trailer. So I don't know where he must have gotten rid of the other trailer or it's back more towards the house.
Okay. As to the ATVs, you had a photograph of them, but you're not arguing that there's a violation related to those now, are you?
No, it was basically that the complaint was that he was working on them and running them up and down the alley. If you look through my notices, I did originally cite him for not having a home-based occupation, but because I never physically seen him running them up and down or working on them, I took it off on my last notice.
Okay. Okay. Respondent, you can come up. If you'd start just by giving me your name for me.
Juanilas.
You can proceed.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. If you'd raise your right hand, I'll swear you in.
Okay.
Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, or nothing but the truth?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
About the high grass in the summer, it's a little hard to get the grass low because you have to cut it like twice a day, and when you come and I work the whole day. When I come in, it's like 6 or 7 o'clock, and maybe it's raining, so I only cut it on the weekends. And that part right there, that's a tree. I'm gonna get rid of that tree and maybe the banana trees too. And the other one is a passion fruit. It just go over the shed and take over the shed and that corner over there. And the abandoned vehicle, it was a boat. I throw it away. It was a boat shell. And the other 2 boats, they might, but I'm not working on them. And they're not registered right now, but last year they was. So I maybe got it registered again this year, so to get it right. And
The vehicle, could you go to through the photos of the vehicles for me, just so I can?
So those two boats there, are you saying you'll register those because they're yours?
yes, the last year, but this year they not registered.
What about the truck?
The truck, yeah, the truck is running now.
Okay.
You say it is running?
Yeah, the
Does it
truck
have
is-
current registration?
Yes, I got registration and everything of that truck. Yeah. I don't use it all the time. I use the little car.
And the car, is the car part of the violation
This one
on the left?
on the driveway?
Is
No.
that part of what you're citing?
Yeah.
Is the car operable?
The car is not registering. That's why I don't move it.
Does it run?
It runs, yeah.
Tires have air in them?
Tires are, yeah, tires got air.
Okay.
Can
So,
you move it around?
I
or-
can move it. I can move it.
well,
Now we know it's not registered though, so.
based on what I'm hearing, I wanna try to help.
Okay.
And so, I think you've already identified what you need to do to come into compliance. You need to get those boats registered. You need to get this car registered. Like the code enforcement officer said, I can't order you to do this, but if you want to avoid getting another notice, move it once in a while, take it for a drive around the block so that she sees that it does in fact still run. Because given just the state of the exterior and the paint, it is one that I can understand why a code enforcement officer would identify as a potential inoperable vehicle. But if you get the registration, if it runs, and if it's currently registered, you will have cured it as to the car. The same applies to the boats, but they need to be registered. So you need to get those things done. As for the grass, it looks like, and that's why I was curious about the grass, because it looks like you've done quite a bit of work to get into compliance. It sounds and looks like you've just got a couple more areas to go and
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
with the weed whacker. I certainly am sympathetic. I think everybody in the room that has a house is sympathetic. But we all, during the summer months, yep, we're out there once a week mowing that grass. Knock it down low and come back to it the next week. And you miss a week, and you're right, it's right up there. Typically, you don't get on code enforcement's radar, though, until you've missed several weeks and it's starting to get high. It's not like they're going out there with rulers. So just try to stay on top of that. That's the advice I can give you. Code enforcement has asked for a cure date of December 1. You've already stated your work schedule. There's a little bit of work involved and maybe some paperwork with the state, since it's all about registration, and around the holidays, I'm afraid he's gonna be a little bit bogged down, so I'm inclined to give a little bit more time. How much time do you think you need? One, hopefully, I'm just gonna use one date because he has done so much with the grass and there's just a little bit left, so I'm just gonna give him one compliance date rather than pushing forward that compliance date on those little pieces of grass, because that just makes everybody do more work. But I would hope that you can get out there as soon as possible and do that little bit of more work, and you can always call the code enforcement officer and she'll come out and let you know if there's anything that you've missed. But how much time do you need primarily for those for the vehicles? Do you think you need to get the work done to get them registered and back in compliance?
Maybe 90 days.
I need a little bit longer than I'm willing to give. So, having just gone through this, I think it was about 2 weeks from the time I sent my paperwork in for vehicle registration. How about 45 days? That gets you out to about the tail end of the year. Think you can get it done?
It's possible.
Do you have any-
Possible or likely? This is, if it's not possible, now's the time to tell me why it's not possible. There's something going on that I need to know about. Now's the time to tell me.
I mean, is it a money issue? Or?
Well, it's holidays.
Tell you
December,
what,
yeah.
let's get through the holidays. I'll say, let's say January, we're the 17th? January 15th. That gets you through the holidays. A little bit closer to your 90-day ask. And I think that's more than enough time to get what work is left done.
That's good.
And so that you also understand I am going to find that if you don't come into compliance, that a fine of $100 a day will run until you do get into compliance. So it's important that you come into compliance, let the code enforcement officer know that you have come into compliance, and that way there's no possibility for you to have any fines. I'm not finding anything today. The city has asked for administrative costs in the amount of $278.90 to be paid. I'm going to award that because they do have to put work into these cases, and the statute entitles them to recover those costs. Again, because of where we are in the holidays, and I do want to be sensitive to that, do you need more time to pay what the city has asked for in payment of costs? I'm willing to work with you on time. From the outset, to make it a little bit easy for you, I would say I would give them the same date for payment of those costs of January 15th. Do you need more time than January 15th to get $278.90 paid to the city? No? Okay.
It's really good.
So final advice, the importance of this order beyond getting the violation cured is if it happens again, it's considered a repeat violation, and they can present it to me as a repeat violation, which makes the possibility for fines much greater. And so I don't want to have to see you again. So keep up with that grass. Make sure once the vehicles are registered, you keep them registered.
In case I sell the boats and sell the cars, I had to bring a proof of that, or just tell her?
If they're not on the property, and if you decide you want to sell any of those instead of going through the process of registering them,
Yeah.
if they're not on the property anymore, that is also, you have cured the violation. So that is
Okay.
an option for you. You don't have to register them, but if you don't register them, then they need to be removed from the property.
All right.
Okay? And that's my verbal ruling today. It'll all be put into a written order, and when you get that written order, actually everything was based on date certain, so that written order you will have also to follow along with what I've ordered today, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with it in your head. Okay? Thank you.
And if you have any questions, call me,
All right.
okay?
You're fine.
My number is right there at the bottom.
Case number 2021-2012, Sabec Inc., St. Cloud Apartments LTD owner, location of violation 1701 Michigan Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Melissa Howes again. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence a copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code sections in violation, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $279.55. The owner is not here, but an employee from the apartment complex is here and has received copies. On September 23rd, 2020, Officer Miller had cited this apartment complex for not maintaining the exterior building structures. On April 20th of 2021, she closed out her code enforcement case due to the owner applying for a permit to repair all of the exterior buildings at one time. On August 30th, 2021, several months later, during routine patrol, I observed that the buildings were still not being repaired. Upon checking the permit records, the permit had never been obtained. I took 19 photographs while I was there. And what you're seeing on the buildings is actually the employee and the maintenance person that works on site has actually safed up certain areas of these buildings so that water will not be leaking inside of them.
So is that just plastic?
I don't know what that is.
I'll wait for her to
Yeah,
ask.
I don't know. It's like a foil.
Okay, I'll ask.
But then we have certain areas where the soffit and fascia is coming off. There's rotted wood. There's some tarps on the roof, same color as the roof there. A lot of soffit and fascia missing.
building occupied?
All of them. It's several. How many units are there?
I'll let her.
30?
I'll let her-
Okay.
If you don't know, you can.
I don't know.
let her testify.
So these are just some generalized photos showing the damage and so forth.
Is this all just deterioration, or was there something that damaged the building,
Um,
to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I'm just looking at them securing and maintaining the exterior of the buildings. Upon returning to the office, I sent out an email to Mr. Peterson, whose name was on the permit application as the owner. I advised him that the permit was never obtained and the buildings had been in disrepair for quite some time. I also advised that we were in hurricane season and most of the buildings did not have protection from the elements if a hurricane were to come through. I concluded the email by letting him know that I would be sending out notice of violations by certified mail, giving the contractor 60 calendar days to obtain the permit and complete the repairs. I suggested that if he or the contractor had any questions to give me a call. I had no response from my email. On August 31st, I sent out notice of violations to the owners of record, the registered agent, and to the mailing address for the owner on the corporation website by certified mail, giving them 60 calendar days to obtain the permit and have the work completed. I posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took the photo that you see on the screen. On November the 2nd, a reinspection was performed. No work had been completed. I checked the permit records, and the permit had not been obtained. That same day, I created a statement of violation and noticed a hearing, sent it by certified mail, posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took one photo of the posting. On November the 8th, I received a call from a gentleman named Curtis with Hallmark Company stating that he was the new property manager director for the company and he would be working on correcting the violations. On November 15th, I checked the property and nothing had been completed. 8 photographs were showing non-compliance. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of not maintaining the exterior building structures at this multifamily apartment complex by the time specified. The city would like to give the respondent until January 7th, 2022, to complete the work or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request the costs incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $279.55 be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes my presentation. I don't know if,
I can answer questions.
I mean, yeah.
I'm new, so.
It's okay. She raised her hand. I do that mostly so I can see who's being sworn.
Okay.
So you heard me ask the question, she was sworn. You heard me ask the question earlier as to what is that material that's been used to safe those buildings?
It's roofing, some kind of roofing tape that we bought at Home Depot.
Okay. Behind that, it's just open?
It's foam board.
Okay. And any idea what led to the building being in this condition? Is it just lack of maintenance, or was there some event that?
Hurricane, 2016.
It's a long time ago.
Yep.
What's the time frame for getting it cured?
I was just talking to my regional manager, and she said we are supposed to get a rehab because it's taken so long. They're not going to go with a rehab, and they're trying to get estimates to get the roof done.
And the siding?
And that's what I was just explaining it to her, and I said I have to go in, so.
Okay. You're the sacrificial lamb today.
Curtis was supposed to show up and he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Correct?
Yep.
What did you say? Your name is?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kim Taft.
And your role with the company?
I am a property manager.
Independent from or working for Seaback Inc.?
I work directly through Hallmark.
Okay, so you're with Hallmark. No permits have been applied for yet.
Well, the one is still good that they applied for when Alex had cited them, and there were only two things that they needed, which was the notice of commencement, which is not a big deal, and they had to go through DRC to make sure that, I guess, everything was approved through the different departments.
That permit was for what?
They wanted to do a total rehab,
Yeah, it's
which
supposed to be total
now
rehab.
she's saying that they don't want to do that, so I don't know.
So they may or may not
May or may
need new
not.
permits.
That's why I went ahead and put it until January of 2022, because they've already had two 60-day, you know, I've already given them 4 months to at least cure what's there. That's why I didn't cite them for no permit, because I'm citing them for the exterior maintenance.
It's a bad condition that's gone on for a long time.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
recognize it. I'm preaching to the choir. So I'm inclined to do as much as I can to get it fixed. They're asking for January 7th. Is there anything I need to know in considering time for compliance beyond what I've already heard?
As far as I know, no. Like I said, I was talking to my regional when I walked in here.
Because if I say January 7th to cure, that means all of it gets cured, not just the roof. It means that siding is cured, the soffits are cured.
Oh,
I mean,
prefer
the
it was
soffits
cured.
are hopefully the easiest of everything, it looks like, at least from the pictures I saw.
Yeah. I'd like it cured.
I'm sorry?
I would want it cured. It's not me.
Well, and especially if those units are occupied.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just-
full.
It's a bad
She
situation.
occupies one of them even.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
So you understand?
I understand. Every time we get a windstorm, trust me.
Staff city has asked for cost in the amount of $279.55. I see evidence in the record that they have spent that time on the case. They've asked for that to be paid within 7 days. Do you foresee any roadblocks to getting that paid within 7 days?
I do not.
Any check issuance issues, anything that might slow down check issuance? Do you need a
No, as
few-
soon as I get a check request, I send it in, so.
Okay. Then I am going to order as requested by the city. I will find the property is in violation for International Property Maintenance Code violations. Order those violations to be cured by January 7th. Again, so that it is very clear, cure means to cure the violations, not just to obtain permits and start moving. It means done.
Okay.
If not cured within that time, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will run until compliance is met. Also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $279.55. That amount to be due within 7 days from the date of my written order. So that will actually give you a few more days because that'll probably go out, it'll go out this week. So probably Thursday, Friday, that
Okay.
order will be in the mail. Okay. Thank you.
We
That
good?
is it.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Case number 2021-2076, Russell and Tabitha Alexander, owner, location of violation, 725 Maryland Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Okay, Melissa Howells again. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items. Copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail. Copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail. Copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property in City Hall. Copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted on the property in City Hall. Copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, code sections in violation of, copy to the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $261.90. The respondent is not here for this case. On September 14th, 2021, during routine patrol, I noticed the grass being high at this location and a red Jeep in the driveway with a flat tire. Both are violations of the city code. On September 15th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail to the owners of record to correct these violations. On October 1st, I inspected the property and the violations had not been corrected. 8 photos were taken showing non-compliance. The tag says 6/13 of 21 on it. That same day, on October 20th, a reinspection was performed and the violations had not been corrected. let me go back. That same day, October 1st, I sent out notice of violations by certified mail to the owners of record to correct the violations. On October 20th, a reinspection was performed and the violations had not been corrected. I also added the violation of not maintaining the exterior property areas in a clean sanitary condition. 12 photographs were taken. On October 21st.
Before you proceed, the
Okay.
clean and sanitary, the miscellaneous items,
Yes.
is that the basis for?
Yes. Between that one and there, I mean, you can't, I know the photographs don't do it
No,
justice,
I
but
thought I saw it, I just wanted to make sure that what I thought I saw was what you were wanting, were showing me.
okay. On October 21st, I posted the property in City Hall with the notice of violation. I did an affidavit of posting and took one photograph of the posting shown on the screen. On November the 3rd, again, I inspected the property and it was not in compliance. 16 photos were taken. There was another vehicle in the back that had flat tires as well. On November the 4th, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail. I posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, took one photograph shown on the screen. On November 15th, I re-inspected the property and the violations had not been corrected. 9 photographs were taken.
Do the respondents reside at the property?
Yep,
Have you seen any indication that they are actually home?
yep. They don't come out and they've not responded to me at all. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of having high grass, abandoned vehicles, and not maintaining the exterior property areas by the time specified. The city would like to give the respondent until December 1st, 2021 to correct all the violations or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $261.90 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes that presentation.
Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find the respondents are in violation for having high grass and weeds, abandoned vehicles, and not maintaining the exterior property areas in clean sanitary condition. Allow the respondents until December 1st, 2021 to correct the violations. If not corrected within that time, a fine in the amount of $100 per day shall run until compliance is met. Also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $261.90, which amount will be due 7 days from the date of my written order.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 2021-2171, Northern Lights Investment LLC owners, location of violation, 1118 Massachusetts Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 1118 Massachusetts Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the notice violation sent to the owner, a copy of the notice violation sent by certified mail to the owner, copy of the statement of violation, notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, copy of the affidavits of postings, the certified card signed for, the certified mail receipt, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code sections in violation, copy of the costs incurred if the special magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $237.40. On September 28th, 2021, I received a complaint that the stairs had been demolished at this location. On September 28th, 2021, I went to verify the complaint, and the front set of stairs had been demolished, and there was a large pile of wood debris. And I took one photo. On September 29th, a notice violation
Can
was
I
sent by...
see the demolished stairs and the wood debris in this photo?
Yeah, well, there's just no stairs there right in front.
Where were the stairs?
Right there, you see the bottom on the top there? There were stairs that went down, and that big pile of wood was all the stairs.
Do
I
see
got
the
some
pile of
closer up
wood?
pictures.
Okay, I'll let you
Okay.
proceed.
Okay, well, let me, there's a big pile of the stairs and stuff. So at September 29th, the notice violation was sent by certified mail to the owner, posted on the property and City Hall, an affidavit of posting, and I took 5 photos. See, right there was where the stairs was.
Now I can see better, thank you.
Okay. On October 14th, I went to the location, and the large pile of wood was still there, and there was still no permit for the removal of the stairs. I took 3 photos. On October 26th, an inspection was made. The large pile of wood was still there. The permit was still not obtained. On October 26th, the statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed, and I took 2 photos. On November 9th and November 16th, I went to the location, and the property was still in non-compliance on the unsightly condition, and still no permit was obtained. I took 3 photos. And the respondent is not here. I have not heard anything from the respondents this whole time. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of a life safety issue and the demolition of stairs prior to obtaining a permit and an unsightly condition. The permit be obtained and the unsightly condition cleaned up by December 1st, 2021, or pay a fine of $200 a day until compliance is met. The city would like to also recover the costs incurred in bringing the case before the special magistrate in the amount of $237.40 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And that concludes my presentation.
Is this a single family residential?
No, it's apartments. And there's apartment right there on the top. That's an apartment. Yes. No, it's not commercial below. It's all apartments.
I'll get there. She did and actually a recommendation say that she was asking for it to be found a life safety issue. I was going to ask you the question, do you find this, in your opinion, as code enforcement officer, is this an immediate threat to life and safety?
Yes, sir.
So there's going upstairs, there's a residential unit that attaches to that balcony.
Yes, sir.
Is it a single unit that attaches to the balcony, or is it a common area, to your knowledge? I don't know if you.
It's a single unit, because in the back, it's the same thing.
Is there egress off of that balcony without stairs? I guess,
Not that I know of.
well, is there an interior access? There must be an interior access
There must be
to
an
that unit.
interior, I think, that goes down to the front.
How well is that secured?
Not very good. Let's see. Yeah, if I can find that one. No. See? And I've tried, and the fire department has also tried to get a hold of that owner. And he knows that it was going to the special magistrate, but he's not called me, nothing.
And did you know if that upstairs unit, if it's occupied or not?
I couldn't tell you for sure if it is or not. It is? Officer Miller says it is. Did you say there was kids?
There were kids, if they got, yes.
Go ahead and make the record with it. aren't sworn? Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
And you were saying?
The apartment upstairs is occupied. I work with the person who lives across the street in the funeral home, and I've seen kids and family lives on the second floor.
Do you know, I mean, do either of you know I'm assuming, based on the photographs, that there is still access. There's been nothing done to prevent access to that balcony?
No,
Are either of you aware of anything that's been done to block off the door, basically, so that you can't get up there?
nothing's been done.
Okay. Well, based on the evidence testimony presented, I will find in favor of the city, find that it is a violation for demolishing the stairs without a permit. Also find that leaving the demolished stairs on the property has created an unsightly condition. Will order the respondent to cure both of those violations by December 1st, 2021, or pay a fine in the amount of $200 a day until compliance is met. Actually, strike what I said on the fine. Also, will order the respondent to pay the cost in the amount of $237.40 within 7 days from the date of my order. I am also, though, going to find that this does present an immediate life safety, threat to life and safety, health and safety. With that, should the city so desire, they can take this to council for a budgetary expenditure to do what's necessary if the city determines something is necessary to be done to at least mitigate this. As much as I can do there, but I am going to enter an order that the respondent cure the condition that the demolition of the stairs has caused by, in some manner beyond what they have done, creating a genuine barrier at the edge of that patio, or otherwise securing access so nobody can get out onto that patio, because that is just waiting for somebody to fall off of. And I'm going to order them to do that by, what's next Friday? No, that's Thanksgiving Friday. So I'm going to order them to do that by Wednesday. What's Wednesday?
Wednesday, the
24th.
24th.
I'm going to order that to be done by November 24th. And should they not comply with any portion of my order, I'm going to at least consider for imposition fines in the amount of $250 per day.
250?
$250.
Now, do you want if they don't, do you want the city to go in there?
I can't order that. All I can do is, say that it's an immediate threat to life safety, and so that authorizes the city, should the
Okay.
budgetary expenditure be authorized by whomever needs to authorize that expenditure to engage in self-help, but that is the importance of me making that finding, that it does
Okay.
present an immediate threat to life and safety.
Okay, thank you.
Unfinished business, case number 2021-640, Benjamin Estates HOA Inc., owner, location of violation, Benjamin Estates, Tract B and C, Conservation and Buffer, St. Cloud, Florida.
I was expecting excitement. Where is
I know.
everybody?
This was put on the agenda at the request of the respondent. The only knowledge I've got on this case is that there's a current order in place which had set a compliance date for September the 1st of this year, and that's where we are.
Well, there was an order imposing fines, and so that order being, the way we do it in St. Cloud is we give them the right to appeal typically to get their massey hearing after the order is entered, and so I took their request for appeal
Sure.
as an appeal of the imposition, which they have the right to do by the terms of that order in this process. Were they given notice of the hearing?
I don't know, I have to look at, through my emails and calls.
Okay. Were they given written notice of the hearing? We may have a notice issue.
It was my understanding it was put on the agenda at the request of the respondent, so,
It-
yeah.
They requested appeal, but they didn't pick, I don't think they picked the date. They were put on the next available
Noted.
agenda, and if we didn't give them
Sure.
written notice,
Noted, yeah.
we have a potential due process issue.
Right.
So rather than me rule in their absence, I think we will just continue this on and make sure that they get written notice delivered pursuant to 162. I know this is the hearing is at their request, But I think we need to still follow 162 when it comes to giving them a notice of when they're
Sure.
supposed to appear.
No question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business, none. Next scheduled meeting, December 15, 2021.
Anything else from clerk? Anything else from city? We're adjourned.
So, question.